Hi. Okay, think I'm live. Let me know if you're here. Let me know if you're live. Um, because things have changed today for some reason. Hey, James and Mary here. Yeah, Facebook seems to have updated the way they go live now. It's all a bit different, so I was a bit worried for a minute there that I wouldn't be able to do it on here. Hi, Sheila. Morning, Sarah, Jess, Ben, Elaine. Good to see you all. It's Friday. Fun day. And it's nice outside. It's what we want on a weekend. Hope you're all well. Yeah, I was just saying that Facebook seems to have changed things. It's a good job that I use Friday to kind of get all ready for Sunday, media-wise anyway, so I can spend some time adjusting. But change is good, just not when it's a surprise, just before you need it. All right, well, we'll get straight into it because there's already 16 people here. That's brilliant. Thanks for showing up on time. That's fantastic. Means we can get straight onto it. Also means that I can make my live feeds a little bit shorter than the others, which is great because I have been criticised severely by my wife about my length of devotions. So I cut them down, only to discover that she, in fact, was longer than I was. There's been a certain amount of gloating going on in the house the last day or so. Well, last day because she was on yesterday. But anyway, we'll get into it. So join me tonight, 7:30 for the next devotion. And I forgot we're looking at. I think we're looking in Samuel, 1 Samuel. But I won't be there. I'll be there in spirit. I might be there. I might kind of tune in. But Friday nights when we do stuff with the kids, so it will be a live showing of a recording for tonight, which I'll probably record directly after this. Then tomorrow we've got the mystery devotioners. It's going to be great. I've not actually seen them yet, but I've got the recordings, and it's 2 people that you'll be excited to see. So tomorrow, usual time, 10 a.m. and 7:30 for the mystery devotioners. Don't forget to tune in for that. Don't have a lie in. I know it's Saturday, but get up nice and early. Hey, you can watch it in your pajamas at 10 o'clock, and then at 7:30, still in your pajamas if you wish. And then on Sunday 11, don't forget church as usual on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And we're having lots of fun with that at the moment. So make sure you tune in. Got some new stuff to tell you on Sunday, some new exciting stuff to keep you going, particularly parents. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday and to seeing you all tuning in. So we'll get started though. So we've been talking about the idea of being on a journey, that life is a journey. Andy spoke on Sunday about this. He talked about the 2 guys who was walking on the road to Emmaus, and that Jesus met them on that journey. And so that's really been the inspiration for this entire week of devotions. And I started off this week on Monday saying that life is a journey. And it is a journey. We get so fixated on the end result and where we're heading, we can often wish away our life. It's like, when you go back full time to work, some of you may have already gone back full time this week. It's that kind of, I used to find it so annoying when I'd hear people saying, oh, I can't wait for the weekend, just get work out of the way, can't wait to relax on the weekend. And I kind of get that the weekend is more fun. But man, I don't want to give up. I don't want to wish away 5 days of potential fun and 5 days of potential freedom and 5 days of potential joy by not finding joy in the moment because I'm constantly waiting for Saturday and Sunday. So I don't like that whole idea. So, life's a journey. We're on the journey. We focus on the day we're on, right? And this whole week's been about that. And today we're going to look at something that I've entitled Service Station. Leah and I are very different when it comes to our idea of chilling out, I guess. Leah is all about the holiday. Leah loves, she craves a holiday. Like if we ever have a year where there've been a few where we weren't able to go away, man, it's almost like the whole year's wrecked. She needs that time away. In fact, she ideally wants to go abroad as well, which has not been something we've been able to do the last few years. And so, when we've been abroad in the past, oh, it's like a different person. Honestly, she's on that sunbed every day, just laying there and just resting and recuperating and enjoying. I'm different. I'm like, I'll be on the sunbed for 5 minutes and then I'm too hot. Then I'm in the pool or I'm in the sea, I'm swimming or I'm doing something or I'm playing a game with the kids or although to be honest with you, in the last few holidays, the kids have been like, dig a hole, dig a hole. I'm like, I'm tired of digging holes. I'm 37. I'm too old to dig holes now. At what point can you stop digging holes with your kids? I don't know. Maybe they have to decide that, I suppose. But I'm all about I have to do stuff. I like to do stuff, and also when it comes to money as well. Like I'm really happy to spend money on stuff that makes us happy, whereas Leah's the opposite. So I'd like get a takeaway every week, me, every single week get a takeaway or go out somewhere or treat the kids or if I walk into a shop to buy anything, sugar, if it run out of flour, it's been one of the big things over this isolation. I'll pop to the shop, see if I can get some flour. I can't come home without like a little packet of sweets for the kids or something because I just want to spend money on them and treat them and do something. I've got no problem. But Leah is like the opposite. She wants to have as much fun as possible with spending the least amount of money possible. And even when we've got money, it's like it's this inbuilt guilt in her. Like she doesn't want to use the money. And which is different, I suppose, in the way that we enjoy life, the way we do some things in life and find enjoyment and rest and relaxation in life. And this idea of a service station that I want to talk to you about today is all about that, really. It's all about rest, relaxation. What is rest to you? We don't like to admit it, and it's certainly for us. We've discovered since having kids. Before kids, we'd go on a long journey, drive out somewhere for maybe a weekend, or a few days away, or for a holiday somewhere, or to go visit Leah's sister and brother-in-law and niece and nephew down in Devon. We'd make a long journey and we were like, let's just get through it and get there. The destination is the key thing. We're going to zoom. We're going to, like, service stations are a waste of time. I don't want to stop. I want to keep, if I stop, at a service station to have a walk around and something to eat, I'm going to waste half an hour and I could be there half an hour sooner. Let's just get there. But since having kids, we've realized that service stations are absolutely vital. Without a service station, my kids would have just, been peeing in bushes at the side of roads and stuff, because they can't go as long as we go when it comes to kind of needing the toilet. So service stations have been a necessity. Also, just keeping them sane. I mean, have you ever tried to drive like 5 hours with 4 kids in the back of the car? They just go insane, and then they go insane, and then they make you go insane. so you have to plan in us, and almost like we're thinking, okay, when do we need to stop? How far can we go before we need to pull in, give the kids half an hour, maybe time it around a lunch break, or get some sweets to give them something to focus on, or see if we can recharge a tablet for wherever it may be. When do we need to do that? And that's been really important to us in our journeys in the last few years. And actually, what I've come to realize, if I'm completely truthfully honest, is it is vitally important to take a service station break once in a while in life as well. I think I talked about this recently in 1 Kings 19 about the story of Elijah. I won't go into massively into what's gone before that, but there's this whole bit where he's down, he's done some stuff, he's down and he's depressed. It's 1 Kings 19 verse 5 to 8, and he's under this bush, and he's basically said to God, I've had enough. I can't go on. I just want to die, in fact, he says. And he says that then he laid down under the bush and fell asleep. All at once an angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank and then lied down again. The angel of the Lord came back a second time and touched him and said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." So he got up and ate and drank. Strengthened by that food, he travelled 40 days and 40 nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of God. You know, sometimes taking a rest can seem really counterproductive. Taking a rest can feel like the opposite of what we feel we should believe we're doing. You know, shouldn't Elijah have had the faith to make the journey without having to take that rest? And yet God, in the form of an angel, came to him and said, "Hey, have a rest. Rest. Eat something, because the journey that you're about to go on is too much for you." And I just want to just emphasize that really with you today. I want to ask you a simple question. We believe that faith is believing in the impossible, right? So we believe that we can do anything with God. But here God's telling him that he can't make the journey without rest. Could it be that God is asking you to do something that is so beyond you that you have got to take times of rest? I think it's not a negative. I just think that it's actually more than what we expected. That our faith for what we're believing for, actually, God's believing for even more for you and for me. So much more that actually we need to take rest. So I want to give you some reasons why rest is really important. The first one being what I've just said. Actually, you're probably going to have to go further than what you think, and you need to have that rest. But the first thing I want to say is rest is important to renew. Renew. Isaiah 40, verse 30 to 41. I believe Leah read this the other day in the Message version, but I'm reading it in the NIV. It says, "Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. And having renewed their strength, they will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow faint." 1 Samuel 30, verse 6 is the story of how, it's one of my favourite stories. David comes back to where he's living and he finds that the entire place has been ransacked. His wife and kids have been carried off. And everyone's looking at him and blaming him and talking about killing him. And it says that David, in 1 Samuel 30, verse 6, "But David found strength in the Lord his God." In other words, David took the time to strengthen himself in the Lord. And having done that, he goes off, chases the enemy down, defeats them, takes all his family back, his wife, his children, everyone else's wives and children, and all the stuff that was nicked, and all the stuff that the people who had done that to him had accumulated themselves. So they came back with more. If we're constantly working, constantly thinking, then there's no time to process our journey with God. There's no time to evaluate, think about, listen to God's voice. It's in this time of rest that our perspective is lifted and we gain emotional energy to carry on. Renew. Second thing we need to rest for is we need to rest actually to be able to build. In Genesis 2, verse 2 to 3, it says, "By the seventh day, God had finished all the work that he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because he rested on it from all the work of creating what he had done." I know there's something that I've discovered. I'm not a bodybuilding expert, although I have spent a lot of my life using bodybuilding techniques. And some of the guys that I speak to about it to try and learn from taught me something that I didn't realize. And it's this. They say, train for 5 days, take 2 days off. They say, do it. They say, if you don't take those 2 days off, your training will not be as effective. The idea is, the science is, that your body actually needs those 2 days, because as you train for those 5, your muscles expand and they tear. And if you don't take 2 days off to rest, your body won't fill those tears in as well. In other words, you won't actually build the muscle as effectively if you don't rest. We went to a men's conference called Excel a few years back as men, and some of you will remember there was a guy there, a psychologist who was doing some studying, and he taught us about the rule of 85%. And this is scientifically proven that if you work 85% of the time but rest for 15% of the time, you actually work harder in the 85% of the time and get more done than if you were to work for the entire 100%. In other words, God has designed you specifically to rest in order to build better. You will actually accomplish more by taking that 15% time off. Now, I'm not a maths genius, but I did do what 1/7 is, what 1 day, what the Sabbath equates to, and guess what it is? 14.28%. Sounds very similar to 15%, doesn't it? God has designed you to take 15% of the time off. Why? So your 85% of the time will be more productive and more efficient than 100% of your time working your backside off. You need to rest so you can build more effectively. The last thing about rest is why it's important is you need rest so that you shed off someone else's weight. And that sounds a bit weird. We're trying to lose weight at the moment. We're trying to shed some weight. In Matthew 8, verse 28 to 30, it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I've served God for many years now in different forms. I've served the church in many different ways. I've got to tell you, there has been some real seasons in my life where that burden of service has felt heavy. And yet Jesus here is saying that the burden of serving him and coming to him is light, that the yoke is easy. Why is this? John 5 verse 19 says that very truly I tell you, the Son can do nothing by himself. He can only do what he sees the Father doing, because whatever the Father does, the Son also does. I want to put an idea to you that maybe the reason why things are so hard is we're not doing it Jesus' way. We're taking on things that's not our burden. You know, Jesus, when in that famous part of the Gospels where he prays for that man in the pool of Bethesda, he prays over that guy and he asks him, "Do you want to be healed?" He says, "Yes, of course." He heals him. Meanwhile, there were, I don't know how many, dozens, hundreds of people all around the pool of Bethesda, read it for yourself, who were waiting for a miracle as well. The Bible does not say that Jesus healed them. What does that tell me? Jesus healed that man because he was doing what God's will was for his life in that moment in time. He didn't see the Father didn't tell him to do that. He didn't go that step, you know. And maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but what I'm trying to get across to you is this: God's given you a specific call, a specific task, a specific burden. And if you are weary and tired beyond what is normal, I want to ask you, maybe you're trying to do stuff that maybe because other people expect it of you, maybe because of guilt, maybe because of wrong thinking in your head, maybe trying to save everybody, maybe trying to be everyone's savior. That was me, right? And guilt was a massive part of me as well. So I used to work. But maybe, just maybe, God's saying, "Hey, I've got it covered. You do what you're meant to do. Shed off all the expectations of everyone else and just live for my expectations on your life." Even God did that. He worked for 6 days, and then he waited, he rested for 1 day, the 7th day. Why? because he thought it was so important that he wanted to model it for us. I didn't get this for years, to be honest with you now. I would work non-stop and tell myself that I was honouring God. I'd be up till past midnight, sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because something had to be done, neglecting my family. Every time someone spoke to me about doing anything with them socially or anything like that, the answer was always no, because I can't, I'm busy. I've got too much to do. I can't make that day. I'm too involved with doing this, that, the other. I'd walk around at a fast pace on a mission because there was always just enough time to get done what I needed to get done. You know, if everything fit into place and no one interrupted me, I could get it done. And if something interrupted me or I didn't get it done, I just crashed and I burnt. I was a failure. I was wrapped up in guilt. And even now, I still have trouble. I still have it in me. I'm looking for the most efficient way to make breakfast. I know it sounds daft, right? But I walk around, I think if I walk around the kitchen in this way, get that as I walk past, then I can make breakfast more efficient. I'm not going there, then back and there, and then back like that. It sounds daft, but that goes through my head all the time. And when I see someone working harder than me, I still have a little niggle inside me telling me that I should be working harder than everyone. But I've committed myself to working smarter. Not only doing what God's called me to do because I know that that is God's way. I will do just what God's called me to do, and I will trust Him and I will trust people around me to get the rest done. So I'm going to find rest. So I want to encourage you today, shed off the guilt, shed off the need to save everybody. Lean into God, take some time, rest, lean in, find out what He's calling you to do, and do that with the best ability, the whole of your 85%. And I promise you this, you will go further, you will do more if you do that and take that day off. So it's the weekend. Make sure you get some rest. Amen. I'm just going to pray for you and then we'll finish. I've been 21 minutes. So having just said at the beginning, cheekily, that I've been making these things shorter, I've now gone on to then double what I should have done. So I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you got some out of it. Let's pray. Father, we thank you and we love you that you have, just taken care of us. You want us to take care of us so much. And Lord, we know we can push ourselves. We know we can burn the candle at both ends. We know that we can at times sacrifice things that just don't seem right sacrificing, because in our mind we think we're doing the best thing. We're pushing on, we're ploughing on. Thank you, God, because you made us to actually be able to do more, having taken that time of rest, physically, spiritually, emotionally. That's how you designed us. And I pray, Father, that we will each take this on, that you'll help us to shed off the guilt, help us to shed off the need to prove something, the need to work and to save someone, or to save the day and do something, that no one else could do, and all that stuff, or the different reasons that go through our mind that pushes on to make us work harder. And just help us to rest, switch off, whatever that looks like for these people today who are listening, Lord. I pray, Father, you say, hey, do it, enjoy yourself, have some rest, take that time off, so we can come back fighting and achieve more for you. In Jesus' mighty name I ask it. Hey, have a great weekend, rest. I'm having a takeaway, don't even care. I'm on a diet, I'm having a day, I'm having a takeaway, probably tomorrow night. And tonight I will be recording this and publishing it as a premiere. Why? Because I'm having some rest with my family, doing something together. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you at devotions tomorrow.